President-elect Donald Trump held his first post-election news conference Monday. While speaking to reporters at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, Trump addressed a range of issues, including his cabinet picks, foreign policy, and trade. He also outlined some of his economic priorities.
Already preparations are underway to slash massive numbers of job-killing regulations, eliminating 10 old regulations for every new one. And I'll keep my promise to pass historic tax cuts for families, workers, and businesses that create jobs in America. Any business that invests $1 billion or more in the United States will be eligible for fully expedited permits and approvals, including environmental approvals.
Trump called a news conference to announce such an investment from the Japanese firm SoftBank. The company says it's investing $100 billion in American projects over the next 4 years, with the intent of creating 100,000 jobs related to artificial intelligence. SoftBank similarly announced a $50 billion investment before Trump took office in 2016, but it's unclear if the company reached its stated goal at the time of creating 50,000 new jobs. We're also learning that Trump met with the CEO of TikTok Monday. Trump says he has a, quote, warm spot in his heart for TikTok because of his gains with young voters. TikTok is trying to fight a law that would ban the app in the U.S. by January 19th, the day before the inauguration. Meanwhile, Trump's pick for Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was on Capitol Hill Monday, looking to shore up support among Republican senators. Many of Trump's cabinet picks met informally with lawmakers at Saturday's Army-Navy football game. You can see there, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance was there, along with House Speaker Mike Johnson, incoming Senate Majority Leader John Thune, Defense Secretary pick Pete Hegseth, Director of National Intelligence pick Tulsi Gabbard, and also in attendance, Daniel Penny, the man acquitted in the New York City subway choking death. CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett joins us now. Major, when it comes to the economy, Trump has been very critical of Canada and Mexico's trade and immigration policies. He says those countries have been put on notice. At the same time, he spoke very highly of China. Here's what he said about Chinese President Xi Jinping.
China and the United States can together solve all of the problems of the world. An amazing guy.
Have you spoken to Venezuela?
The press hates when I say that, but he's an amazing person.
What do you make of the difference in tone with countries that are seen as U.S. allies versus adversaries?
So the president-elect is correct. If the United States and China work together, it can solve several global problems, not all of them. But working together with China is going to be extremely complex for this administration. There are tariff wars to be sorted out. There are intellectual property, ownership rights, human rights issues, navigation in the South China Sea, Taiwan, just to name a few. None of those are resolved or easily resolvable. But to your question, Lindsay, about Trump's rhetoric about China being more favorable, more complimentary than, say, Canada or Mexico, or even our European allies, France, Germany, United Kingdom, speaks to what Trump always believes is his #1 suit in dealing with negotiations, to be unpredictable and to put his friends on notice and to try to charm his enemies. He had mixed success in his first term. The biggest difference the incoming Trump administration assumes this second time around will be world leaders will know America has it more clearly ratified a Trumpist approach to negotiation. He thinks rather that will give him more leverage, but that is always the same with President-elect Trump. Keep your friends nervous and your enemies flattered.
Trump also says that he plans to sue the Des Moines Register for a pre-election poll that found him trailing in Iowa. And we know Trump won the state, but what does this say about his priorities going into his second administration?
In this case, the priorities, if it becomes one, is completely daft. It has no legal basis whatsoever. It would be completely a waste of time to do this. There is no way you can sue a newspaper over publishing a poll that you disagreed with or that was erroneous. And Ann Selzer, the pollster there, admitted it was off. She's had polls that were off before. Pollsters can be wrong and live again and not be sued. This would be a complete and colossal waste of time.
Trump was also asked about his pick for Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy and his view on vaccines. Let's listen.
I think he's going to be much less radical than you would think. I think he's got a very open mind, or I wouldn't have put him there. I found him to be very rational. No, nothing. You're not going to lose the polio vaccine. That's not going to happen.
How have lawmakers received Kennedy at this point?
Cautiously, but I think Senate Republicans are warming up to it, and there's a possibility, Lindsay, there could even be one or two, possibly, I emphasize that, Senate Democrats who might vote for Robert F. Kennedy in confirmation process, but they'd have to hear the hearings, and Robert F. Kennedy would have to be as declarative as President-elect Trump just was, not only about the polio vaccines, but others that are commonly used across the United States.
All right, Major Garrett, always good to see you. Thank you.
Sure.